to pull families out of poverty. We need to pass this bill and give our young people an opportunity to turn their dreams into jobs. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Karen Nyamu.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity to speak to this bill. Honorable Speaker, I am wondering whether this is a necessary bill. Honorable Speaker, sometimes I get frustrated by bills that come from National Assembly. Many tend not to align to the constitutional framework that we have, governance framework, that is the devolved governance system. Honorable Speaker, reading through this bill, I went straight to clause 5, which lays out the functions of this authority that is being established. And the first question I asked myself, is this authority necessary? We need to grow the digital technological economy and digital economy in Kenya, but does that require an authority in order for that to happen? And the answer is no. When you look at the 4th schedule, we don't have digital technology as an assignment or a function of the national government. Neither do we have it as a function of the county government, simply because digital technology is an enabler of functions, which means both national and county governments need digital infrastructure and technology to carry out their functions. So if you're talking about businesses, if you're talking about establishing industrial parks, which national government in fact is facilitating in terms of additional allocations and conditional grants to counties, counties are setting up spaces. And nothing in law stops a county from establishing a technopolis if it elects to do so. So a law like this one is actually misleading because it makes it look like for you to establish a technopolis in Kisumu County, you need some authority to come and tell you how this operates. I beg to differ that this is another unnecessary parastatal that is just going to gobble public funds and not assist us. I am of the opinion that the Senate should be bold enough to actually say we need the Ministry of ICT to actually put in place the digital public infrastructure, lay the fiber cables throughout the country to enable every county, every space to actually develop the necessary digital technological capacities. Honorable Speaker, innovation is not a function of a national government or a county government. Innovation can happen by anyone, whether in private sector or public sector. So if we start creating institutions and give them mandates to say they are the ones in charge of innovation, you are actually creating bureaucracies that are going to inhibit those who want to move. In fact, my view is that we need to fund our public universities better. Give our STEM subjects, our STEM departments, more resources, state-of-the-art equipment to actually carry out that innovation. Because learning institutions are the best spaces to actually nurture innovation. If we remove that from the universities and say now we are setting up a parastatal, it is in charge of innovation, it is going to do research, I think we are moving in the wrong direction. Honorable Speaker, at clause 5(1)(a), 1b, I see that this authority is being given powers to allocate land to investors in a technopolis. I have not seen any cross-referencing to the Land Commission. I have not seen any cross-referencing to county governments which hold county land. I have not seen any reference to municipalities, to cities who also have mandates around matters planning. I think if we pass this law without having a proper conversation among the stakeholders around this issue, we are going to cause more confusion. Honorable Speaker, I have not seen any cross-referencing around what the Communications Authority in Kenya does. Neither have I seen any cross-referencing with the Data Commissioner, but I can see this authority is being given the mandate to actually be the one that is going to be the custodian of business data, whatever that means. Honorable Speaker, I think if we pass this law, we will actually be adding problems and creating confusion instead of enabling the kickoff of the digital economy in this country. Honorable Speaker, clause 5(1)(j) actually gives this authority a function to undertake investment in a technopolis either by itself or through partnership. So this is the authority that is supposed to give guidance, guide innovation, but it is also supposed to do business in competition with those who will be doing businesses there. This is a matter of conflict of interest. So is it a regulatory body? Is it a standards body? Is it an investment body? I think we are actually getting it wrong. And having said that digital technology is an enabler of anybody private, anybody county government, national government, I have then looked at the board, constitution of the board, and the board is full of national government PSs and people elected. It's basically being formed as a national government parastatal, being given functions that are going to be actually to go across the counties. I think whoever drafted this law did not bear in mind our provisions in the Constitution, particularly Article 6, that requires that our governance system is a devolved governance system that must actually recognize both national and county governments. So we are establishing a national government parastatal, giving it functions that are going to cross-cut to counties, and the counties do not have any role in this. My view is, if we need to set up a body like this, we need to go back to the drawing table. We need to ensure that that institution is intergovernmental, not national. We need to give it extremely narrow mandates, which would include just laying out the public digital infrastructure and leave the rest to the markets to actually grow. If you enable access to internet in the villages, the markets will grow. They don't need any authority to come and tell them how to do digital development. If we give resources to our universities, to our TVETs, we will be able to build the capacities around technology that would also enable our businesses to grow around technology. So just on the looking at the functions of this authority and the composition of the board of this authority, Honorable Speaker, this law offends the Constitution. I'm suggesting that the senators relook at it and be bold enough to tell the National Assembly we need to go back to the drawing table to do this, to ensure that this law aligns to the Constitution. I don't support it in the manner it is, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Senator Wakirilali.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to comment on this bill. And Mr. Speaker, from the very onset, from where I sit, from the intention of the drafters of this particular bill, I support the enactment of a law that will help us to grow, develop, manage the governance of our technopolis. So, Mr. Speaker, I support, but with reservations on a number of provisions in this particular bill, which I will propose that the same be subjected to amendments so that it aligns with the Constitution and ultimately achieves the objectives that the bill seeks to create and